Hello and welcome to another episode of Crossroads. My name is Bogdan Pavel and I'm the host of this podcast. And what a pleasure it is today to have with us Maria Bianca. Hi Mabbi, how are you?
Hello, Bogdan. It's a very pleasure being with you here today and be your host.
Thank you so much for being here. Um, with Maria Bianca, we've known each other for quite a few years, and it's really a pleasure to have this opportunity to go through one of her crossroads today. As you know, the script of the podcast is always the same. I have asked Maria Bianca before the episode to think about one of her crossroads moments. And I will ask her in just a minute to briefly explain it. And then we will have a conversation about the lessons learned and why this moment was important in her life. But first of all, Maria Bianca, can you briefly introduce yourself?
Okay, Bogdan. Yes, I'm a friend of a life of Bogdan. We met at university in our first step of studies of our life. We met in Milan and we attended together the cultural mediation university course and studies. Then I moved back in my birthplace in south of Italy. I decided to work in Italy in a company where I practiced my foreign language a little bit. And then at a moment of my life, I decided to change everything and all my plans. So start again a new path, focused on taking care of people, and I am now a professional healthcare to take care about rehabilitation of children and young people until they are 18 years old. And I choose to face an argument that Bogdan introduced me explaining this podcast, that this project that he wants to launch, and I am very proud that he did this choice because it explores a little bit many themes and many problems that we face or joys that we face in our everyday life. So I'm grateful to Bogdan that could dedicate this time to these themes that are very important according to me. So I was inspired by Bogdan and I decided to reflect about how relationships affect my crossroad moments in life.
I feel really grateful and thank you once again for being here and for your trust. And I'm also very happy to hear that the process of preparing for today has also been a reflection moment a bit for you to look a bit backwards and at some of the relationship that shaped your life. How was it? How did you decide on which crossroad you were going to reflect today?
I decided about a little bit about listening your previous podcast with Aykut because he also talked about a friendship that suggests him to go out with the choice of university and studies. So I thought also to the relationship that gave me a push in my life, and I think that every push is worth about talking about it because it makes me different today, and it can be considered a very crossroad moment.
It's a really proud moment for me to see how the crossroad episode with I could inspire already you when looking at at the crossroad moment of your life. I think that's a bit part of the purpose of the podcast also, that of contributing to other people realizing maybe whether this was also the case for them, and to take a lesson learned, or just take a moment to appreciate and be proud of themselves for how they also experienced similar moments in their lives. Going into the concrete example of your crossroad, do you have already in mind the relationship or relationships that you would like to talk about today, that were crossroad moments?
Yes, I've thought about them. I built a sort of bridge among my life. Thinking about my childhood, I think
Mhm.
that the relations affect every child, and they are the step necessary to expertise a lot of things, such as the space, the play, the language, and through relation, through imitation, children learn to be in the world, and also to make the first noises of its life that are full of meanings for them, and then we have to welcome them with funny movements or funny voices. And I want to put a point of reflection on this, because these were for me also the first way to have a relationship, because I play with my sister and I play with my friends at the baby school, and I play also with my grandfather. I was his hairdresser. I obliged him to be every time a strange kind of play partner. So this was very important to have the first social experience, and it was a crossroads because put me in contact with other people, and so it teaches a child, but also a adolescent. So I think I've learned through relation to go beyond my comfort zone. That was my life at home, my parents, my habitual friends, because during my adolescence, I experienced some changes in my body, so it was a crossroad moment, because not always I was happy with it. Also, with the first love story that come come out bad or come out in a good way. So also this kind of relation affected me, and can be considered a crossroad moment. Sorry. And then I started to go far, because I chose to move to attend my study at the university. As I told before, I joined you in Milan, and this kind of relation with you, with Veronica, Floriana, and the Noemi, and so on, other Ilaria, and all other friends. We have Nelson. Was also a crossroad moment, because it was a new life for me. It was far from my birthplace, from my family, but I experienced that I could find a new place where to be, well, to feel good and challenging and happy and curious in a different place from my comfort zone. So it was a very amazing period of my life, where I understood that it is possible to build a relationship also far from home, and that not only near to home we can build some important reference of our life, some like block. I don't know if I'm clear when I explain this.
Experiencing an important part in your life, you mean, or a building block of who you
Yes,
are today?
that's
Yeah,
it. A
yeah,
building
yeah,
block, yes.
yeah.
And it is curious because that building block can be transferred in a lot of places, because now we are in different places, but our building block stands up through distances, through years. I don't know if you can say the same things or different things.
I think definitely it's a nice reflection actually, and I like how you connected it to the to your previous ones, because I think definitely how we grow up and how we learn to shape our first attempts of human relationships, at first by direct imitation, and later on by trying to find our place in the world. I think this is very nice how you pointed out exactly how this shapes also our building ourselves, no, our other building blocks in later life, such as your life at university you mentioned when you went away from home. And this was also the case for me. I didn't have to, back then at least, live too far. I was living in a town nearby to Milan, but it's true, definitely it was a completely new experience. Sometimes not so easy, because the university world, it's much more scattered. Let's say human relationships are much more scattered. You are not sitting in the same classroom as in high school, always with the same people. Therefore, almost forced, if we want to say, to socialize and build your network. But it's such an open world, and for those that are at ease in this, I think it's great. But for those who needed a bit more structure, maybe such as myself, at least back then, it took me quite a bit to have this, let's say, introductory period. And I'm so grateful that I met you and everyone else that you mentioned. Hi, everyone. So I think that was really, really great. And I could really say, in terms of university years, that was in itself a crossroad moment for myself, because I can really see clearly a before and after moment, after before and after meeting you guys, and then the whole experience of university years and life after was definitely different. So thank you. I want to thank you also for bringing this up. It allowed me to think about it. I wanted to follow up, if I can, on. I thought it was really interesting how you mentioned the the relationship with your first people around you, so your sister, other friends, your grandpa, and how this, of course, influenced how you first learned anything about the world, especially in terms of expressing yourself. So the first words, perhaps also by imitation, the first way to interact with someone, to play, to maybe make them laugh. As we know, kids really are a reflection of how we are. So I was wondering, what elements would you say helped you from back then, that you learned back then, when you were facing this crossroad moment? So when you had to go away from home and put yourself there into this new experience, were there any clear elements that you would say definitely were important?
Considering that I don't have a lot of memories of my childhood, I could partner in play, or my parents, or my or other people who were with me. So I feel confident after this kind of experience to explore the world and be with other people uh, without limitations, I suppose, because who knows?
Thank you so much, and I really like this this idea how just small elements such as enabling a child to play in a free environment and without any apparent limitations. In your story, you can associate this memory with the fact of having the courage to experience new things and just being brave, generally speaking, to embrace new social relationships with and actually have the curiosity I could imagine to embark on these new human relationships. I was wondering in terms of whenever you would experience a new relationship with new people, what is normally the feeling for you that you're looking for? Is it just pure curiosity, as you mentioned, or is there also some longing for a deeper connection? How do you normally relate to this?
Okay, actually, I think that's these things has changed during my life because I started with curiosity, pure curiosity. Then during my adolescence, I stayed with people. Above all, listening to them, to their stories, to their confidences. So it was a typical aspect of my character when I met the other people. I put myself on listening them. During the following years, I met a lot of different people in different places. So I learned something about not judging attitude with people. Basically, a kind of staying in relation with position of your body in way to feel the other person to be on ace with me. Okay, so not judging, listening attitude. So some people could think that I follow my brain. This was another argument that you talk about in your last podcast. Gut or brain? Some people could say that I act with my brain in relationship, but a lot of adjustments I take in place, I put on, are also a matter of heart and gut. So
That's very nice to hear. Also reflecting on what you mentioned about really your positioning. So from the words, but also I liked how you refer to the physical posture, almost of like being open towards um, other people when associating with them and when listening to them, which is very important, as you mentioned. And I would like to almost imagine ourselves for a second being at this crossroad, like physically, and experiencing this relationship. I could imagine from what you're saying that having an open-minded spirit and being also quite receptive, ready to listen others, can really provide us many information as to which street to take in the midst of this crossroad. I wanted to ask you if you could also elaborate, maybe if you have any advice as to how to be able to listen with in the most effective way and to just be open and therefore also encourage more relationships.
it's a very hard argument. Give an advice. Now I work with children and with young people, so I put myself in a way of active listening. I follow their styles, their style of communication. I observe. I observe a lot of things before I give an answer, even if maybe in different time it's necessary to give a fast answer. In terms of fastness, an advice that I would give you is not to be fast, but also go slow in a relation with the other, because in this way you can eliminate kind of prejudice.
Yeah.
Okay, or your idea that can block you in a state of mind and stop the other's idea entering in the communication, because you have a fixed idea. So accord your body language with the other one. If he's fast, you be a little bit lower. If he's powerful, you be a little bit lower, and reformulate what he say or she say. If it's not very clear, invite him or her to reformulate something, because it always allow to add some add more information that before was not
This
seen.
is, I think, a great advice. Thank you so much, Mabbi. I think also it's very interesting to see how basically through your story we could also learn how powerful the language can be, and how we pose ourselves to the language. Sometimes I realize it myself. I can be so focused on a conversation or on what comes next almost in the conversation that you give the language, you take the language for granted almost. You don't realize what a powerful instrument it can be. So just taking one step back and letting the other finish their sentence, rephrase perhaps the sentence to obtain more nuances, more information, as you said, and just generally speaking, trying to attune ourselves as much as possible to the other. This can really be a step forward towards a better relationship. So thank you very much for bringing that up. I think that's very useful, definitely for me, and I think for others as well. I would like to give you the chance to for a last thought on this episode. Perhaps what was the biggest change that you could feel following this crossroad?
Okay, in terms of relationship and crossroad moments, I think that I expertise something relating to other people and how I am with other people. That was a kind of when I was younger, and this is another kind of now, because before I let a lot of things enter into me, influence me, and I was like a sponge that absorbed a lot of things. Now it's a little bit different, because with the treasure that I collect from all relation I have, I try to act and behave with people in a different way, less absorbing way, but I'm more integrated and full of identity way. What about it? I try to act with sense, so not following the wind or absorbing bad emotions or bad behaviors. But now it's different, because I am trying to recollect the relationship with myself, how the knowledge, the consciousness of myself, how I am, and how can I relate with the other, giving them a more integrated presence, I think. So crossroad moments, it is improve the relation with myself in this period of life before going to the other.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maria Bianca. I think this is a great self-realization, first of all, for yourself, that you took the moment to realize this change, and I would say, sensing the way you talk about it, I would say definitely a change for the better, towards a more self-realized person, more mature person, that takes in their identity and their own feelings as a very important part when relating to others. So thank you very much for sharing your crossroad and also your learnings. I really appreciated having you on this episode. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bogdan. It is a very, very, very good experience to be here with you and to be your company, your friend in this adventure.